Hey guys, it's been a little while since I posted a video, so I am back today and I want to be talking about a little bit of lab automation, which is why we're standing in front of this awesome, gigantic robot. So we're going to start off using it for a pretty simple function. We're just going to be filling up a bunch of 384 well plates with media, and we're going to be taking those 384 well plates, taking them over to a colony picker, picking about 2,300 colonies, and then calling it a day. So this is really going to be showing how you can really up your throughput by using robots. So let's get started. So I'm going to be, like I said, aliquoting media into 6 384 well plates. I think I will have a video kind of just talking about some of the landmarks of it, but real quick, just a preview. We're going to be using this head, labeled Pod 1 with our awesome red tape. It is a 96 tip pipetting head, and it will pick up a full pipette tip box of tips and be able to aliquot media out. So when we use that head, I'm going to get my fresh sterile tips here. When we use that head, on this model of the robot, we have to put our tips on this special platform right there, and you'll see why when we actually start running our program. So we're going to be filling up with 384 well plates. There are 96 tips in here. So the program is actually going to have to do several movements in order to fill up the 384 well plate. This thing can do all sorts of awesome liquid handling with this and really kind of cut down on the amount of time that it would normally take if you were using a regular multi-channel or just a regular single pipette. So we got our tips there. Actually, why don't we start off by taking a look at the robot's setup as I have programmed it. Here's the interface that the Biomek uses, and this is kind of what I've set it up as. So you can see our tips are right there, and then I'm going to have these 6 384 well plates, and then I'm going to have 2 media compartments. And so what's going to happen is we'll just look at the first liquid handling step. We're going to have our media reservoir, which you can see is this guy right there, and we're going to go in and we're going to fill in 96 wells, all in the upper left hand corner. Then the next step is going to fill in another 96 in the upper right hand corner. And the next step is going to fill in the bottom left. The next step, bottom right. We're going to kind of go in a Z pattern, kind of how we read from left to right, at least in the US. And that's pretty much all that's going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the robot just like that. So I can actually expand that, just like that. And that is probably, at least with this model of robot, the most important thing. Your physical setup must exactly match what you have on the computer. So if you don't, things will crash and you will have to spend a lot of money fixing them. So I'm going to get my plates. I'm going to really double check that, and then I'm going to start laying them out. So let's see here, these go that way. So those tips were sterile, and I have the caps from them. So these things are still sterile. I'm going to use these as my liquid reservoirs. So right now everything should be sterile, even though it's a little bit open and I can't have a flame here. I haven't had too much trouble with it yet. Even though I haven't had any issues, I still like to use all the antibiotics I can get. So right now I'm using a little bit of SOB with ant and kanamycin, and I'm going to just top these guys off. Now, I could have topped them off there, might have been safer so I don't spill anything on the robot, but I actually feel a little bit more comfortable doing it on the deck because I feel like if I was to try to slowly balance it and place it there, I'd be more likely to spill. Whereas here, I'm a very experienced media porter in my many years of lab work. gotten good at not spilling too much, so I probably just traced myself. And I probably got a little too high there, but that's what a Kim wipe is for. And I'm really pouring this really as high as I can, because the program that I have, if it's not really topped off, as it gets to the end of the aliquoting process, will start to miss a couple wells. And that's something I can fix when I have a little bit more time. Okay, so we have the physical layout matching the program's layout. Again, this is like the 10th time I've checked it, and we're pretty much good to go. So normally what I would do as the first step is go to instrument. Again, this is kind of very specific to this program. There's lots of other robots that you can use. This is what we have. I really like it. And we would home all axes. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it again. The axes are homed, and what would happen is, let's say we go back over to the robot, is it would just kind of move these things back and forth, up and down, left and right, just to know where it is. So kind of, I think there's like a magnet in there. I'm not sure how it works, but there's some sort of signal that it will home itself, and then it will know where it is in three-dimensional space. And if you haven't used it in a while, usually you want to rehome it. So we're pretty much good to go. We got fresh tips. Again, checking it again, you really want to be paranoid. If you do not have this matching, that thing could knock into something and break itself off, and you could damage a $40 million piece of equipment. But to me, it looks all good in the hood. Everything is facing the proper direction. Everything is not crooked on the lip, so I'm just going to kind of jiggle everything, make sure we're all happy there, and I'm going to run it. So I'm going to press the play button, and it's going to, again, double check with me. I'm going to say okay, that's what it looks like, and then it's just going to start running. And we'll see this special platform here really locks all those tips on, and that's why you have to use that guy in order to load that thing. And then another thing that we want to so you can see I set this program up to draw 180 microliters of medium, and then aliquot 90 twice, so it actually goes a little bit more quickly. Now another thing to keep in mind when you're using this particular model of robot is you'll notice that it has this kind of purple thingy here, and there's actually a what's called a light curtain. I think they're using infrared, I'm not sure, but if you put your hand over it, like let's say that the robot continues over here, if I was to put my hand over it, it would detect it, and that thing would freeze. And then it would throw an error, it would be like, oh, we detected a light hitting in there, and that's just, you know, for your safety and for the robot's safety. And usually you can just press OK when there's no more, you know, light curtain triggering, and it will continue doing what it was doing. And so now we can just watch this robot do all of our work for us. Now, if I was doing this by hand, it would take me a very long time to do it. Let's see, if I was using a 12 channel multi-channel, one 384 well block would take me, let's see, how many times would it take me? 16 times 6 is more than I would like to do. Actually, I guess it's not that bad, but this is way quicker, especially when we're going to start filling up many, many more 384 well plates than this. And also, it's really hard to beat the accuracy of this thing. The other cool thing is, I mean, once you have this program written, you can just come down here and really quickly adjust how you're going to do your experiments. If you want to scale something up, no problem. Now, before this thing finishes, I'm going to really try to point out what I mean about not lying to the machine. Now this thing is going to come back to our media container. Now if we had lied to it, and if you see in the very middle, we have a 384 well plate that's all filled up. If that thing was not a 384 well plate, but was instead something taller, something, you know, maybe a stack of plates, when pod 1 comes back to the media, it would crash into that. Now it's a bunch of tips on there, so it probably wouldn't do that much damage. However, if it was very tall, then we might actually hit the pod, and that could do some serious damage. You can see that is why automation is awesome. Just stand here, and you have very, very quick, accurate, and as long as the program is written correctly, mistake-free work done for you. So we will take these to our colony picking robot, and we'll do a quick video on that. Thanks for watching.